Hi, everyone. Welcome to Deep League Podcast. My name is Austin. I have here with me my brother, in the past, fellow podcast host, and latest President's League champion, Jameson Bamrick. Welcome to the
It's
pod.
it's great to be here. It's great to be joining you tonight
I
as
can
the D
tell.
League champion.
You've conquered it with potentially your worst team ever.
It's a terrible team, really.
uh, Unbelievable run, 6th seed all the way up to the title. Um, let's see, you dropped 130, 142, and 130. So not like you just got lucky. Your boys turned it on when they needed to most.
That's
How's it
true.
feel?
They did all come together there at the end, but it was a struggle because I mean, to get into the sixth seed was like a real gauntlet. As I think we discussed last time, it was I needed a lot to go right to even make it to the sixth seed. And then to get through that first game, I think I won by point 0.3. Like it was very to even get second round.
Yeah,
It was. I mean, we can. Do you want me to just discuss the amount of luck that got me into the game itself? Because I
yeah.
mean, yeah,
We
if you
can
want to
start
go
there.
for it. So we had
Oh,
like
Deuce is here already. Sorry, buddy.
he's here,
Hate this
my
already.
esteemed opponent. Yeah, so to just even get the sixth seed, like my team was sputtering pretty much the whole way. Like it was not a particularly good team. Whatever needed, I think, somebody had to lose, somebody had to win, things had to line up real just right for me to get that sixth seed. I get the sixth seed and I win that first round by just, I think it was like Darnold. Was it a Monday night game? It was very last minute to just, barely get me across the finish line in the first round. Then I get in
Yeah,
the second.
Monday night
Was it?
Darnold, and you won by
Yeah.
point 0.3.
Yeah. Okay. It was point 0.3. Yeah. So Darnold threw just enough to get me there. Like
Yeah.
just yeah. And so this has been a big 3 games of me being a huge Vikings fan. So yeah, Darnold gets me there in the Monday night game. And then the next year I'm going against TA, obviously a formidable opponent. He's got good teams. He's got a good record. You look at League Legacy, solid franchise there. And but he loses Jalen Hurts like
Oh
very
yeah,
fast,
immediately.
and he has an Eagles wide receiver. That didn't end up mattering. I think that guy ended up getting a fair amount of points, but like I would just say that like him losing that guy immediately won me that game. And team does all right there, and then yeah, then so I get to the championship game, and the rest is history.
It really is. 15 years in the making
Hmm.
of this title.
I got
And
reminded
you
a
almost shouldn't have even been in the playoffs. That's
right.
how close this is.
It's true. My eldest said, "That's a lot older than me," and I said, "Yeah, you're right. Your whole existence, I have not been a champion." And then my wife said, "That's as long as we've been married," and I said, "You're right. It's true."
15 years
My
ago, I had just graduated college. Yeah.
I'm like older than I feel sometimes because I'm like, oh yeah. I mean, I guess yeah, 15 years feels like it was just yesterday. We were playing on NFL.com with yardage bonuses and 16 players or whatever nonsense we were going on. A mystery buy-in that I'm unable to determine to really nail down the finances. I think you're a little better off than the league legacy record says. But yeah, um, yeah. I mean, like I know that you have on the outline, like, how was your week? And you know what? It was amazing. It was the height of sport, the the pinnacle of my athletic achievements based on the athletic achievements of others, which is
Well, I was
better than any of
extremely
mine.
happy for you. I know
Yeah,
you had texted me that. I mean, the entire day you were stressing me out because of how stressed your text sounded. But then you go, I deleted the app,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
I was telling Merritt about that. So like you deleted the app, but then we were still basically like keeping each other updated on what was happening. You just weren't looking at Sleeper for it.
Well, I was because it was a minute fine tooth comb. like a constant update. Not just it was like, because once we flip over, I'm getting a general sense of things instead of like a panicked moment to moment thing. Because like, I guess, yeah, like to go over the arc of it is that, before games start, like before games start, it's looking like a mess. My best wide receiver is CeeDee Lamb. The Cowboys are a terrible franchise. They're a joke, pathetic punching bag of a franchise that decides to sit CeeDee Lamb because they're just not good. They don't have a chance. So why hurt your wide receiver? A decision I understand completely because he's their asset. Go, don't hurt him. But also it's pathetic because that's where you're at. But okay, so they do that. I'm quick on the draw. I pick up whatever fill-in guy. I've jettisoned him from my memory because he got me like 7 points, which is exactly in line with his projection. But yeah, so they picked that guy up. And then like you've got it listed out. We can go through all the news luck that he got. But yeah, so they do that. I think I lost somebody else beforehand. Oh yeah, Watson wasn't going to play. So I'm patching together a starting lineup. I'm looking around and what I've got available is like Zacchaeus.
Olamide,
yeah, Zacchaeus. So this is a funny thing is I don't know if you're familiar with the Amadeus song, but then is then parodied in a Simpsons episode where they're talking about a Planet of the Apes musical and they say Dr. Zaius. And they do the song, but they say like Dr. Zaius, like it's a joke that is somehow stuck in my head. It might not even be Simpsons. It might be like a Family Guy thing. I don't know, but it's stuck in there. And somehow my brain is smashed Zacchaeus into that song. So every time I see it, that plays in my head. But anyway, that's who I'm patching in here. A guy that before the game started was on 2% of rosters and was started by 1% of teams. And that doubled when games started. So he was on 4% of rosters, started by 2% of teams. So I'm like, great, this is going to be we're going to give it our all. But like things are happening to Noost as well that like he loses players, but other things happen where he's like good things are happening.
So I wrote down your matchup and just what I saw. So the first thing was Tua was out, which meant that your Devon Achane stock went down because Tua just led him. Yeah. CeeDee was out. Canoe started the Vikings kicker, who missed a 55-yarder, and then a penalty that was not a penalty at all was called, and he was able to redo the kick, and then he made it. So that's like a
5-point kick.
6-point kick because he missed it, so it would have been -1. Addison dropped a long touchdown, which would have been about 6 points for Darnold. The Bucs were throwing still up 40 on the Panthers, which gave Jalen McMillan a second touchdown for no reason. Chase Brown slid down at the 1-yard line to give the Bengals basically the win. They were going to do a chip shot field goal, but then for some reason the Bengals just ran it in for a touchdown anyway, but not with Chase Brown. Yeah, and then that game ends up going to overtime. Knust has Jamar Chase, and Chase Brown somehow injured himself sliding, so he didn't play at all in overtime. Yep. And then the Colts defense, I was unfortunately on the receiving end of this as well. The Colts defense in a must-win game in order for them to go into the playoffs, play the Giants, who are averaging like 13 points a game going into this, and gave up the most points that the Giants have scored in 10 years against Drew Lock. So you went -3 on that. Ken Walker went on IR, so Knust was able to plug in Zach Charbonnet.
Yep.
So all of that, and you still ended up beating Knust by, 20?
Well, yeah. So we're initially projected when everything's kind of lining up for Thursday night or whenever the game started or whatever. We're projected within like a point of each other. Like it's going to be a really close game. His players then that do play on Wednesday. What was it? Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Whatever games up until Sunday.
Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Yeah. So as we were going into Sunday, his players have underperformed so terribly that I think he's projected, like he's texting me. He always does this. He texts me that like everything's terrible. It's going, my team, good night, game's over. This thing, it's over. My score, I'm not even going to score 90 points, and I'm going to score 80 points in the championship. And he was projected to score like 84. I think I was projected at like 116. But the last time he did that to me, text me all of his anxieties when I'm his opponent, he came back, got 3 Joe Mixon touchdowns on a Monday night and beat me by like 4 points or whatever. So like,
he was trying to meet you basically.
yeah,
He
he
was
said
trying
he
to.
did later say
He's a wall of excellence person, so he does. He
yeah,
has the standard stuff where you got to do the opposite to try and get what you
he
want.
did admit to trying to reverse jinx later. But so he's doing that, and I'm just
That's
like,
smart.
no, I was like, no, because I'm looking at all of his players, and I'm like, if every one of his players plays the best game of their season, he would then score like 130 points. So I'm like, it's not over, like nothing's over, and so I'm just, because I'm like, my team could very easily just take a huge dump. And yeah, I mean, going into Sunday stuff, we like the Chase Brown game was not a good one, but things were looking okay. But then, like you said, like things started kind of getting out of hand a little bit. Like the Bucks game, obviously great for me. I have their best offensive players, but then yeah, McMillan's getting 20 points for no reason, and yeah, like all this stuff is happening. And
Yeah, I think
I'm
Chase
like,
had like 6 or 7 going into overtime, and he doubled his points. And then
yeah,
Tajay Spears was getting fed. And then
yes,
the defense one was the big one. It was a
yes,
25-point difference. He had the Eagles defense, and you had -1 for or
that was
-3
the
for
worst.
Indiana.
That was the worst. It was as if the Cowboys specifically were trying to tank it because they're so pathetic that they can't play their number one wide receiver, so he's gone. They don't give touchdowns of any sort. I mean, they didn't really give touchdowns to anyone, but they don't give a touchdown to the one player I'm playing, who's their wide receiver 1 at this point. And then they just get absolutely embarrassed. Like I was sitting there like watching the stats, being like, just don't throw. Like, please just keep the ball on the ground and don't do anything with it. Do not. And they were just like fumble recovery, touch. Like within a quarter, it was a touchdown return for a touchdown. And I'm like, this is insane. And
Yeah,
they
when
did that
those get out
last
of
time.
hand like that, it's just hell on earth watching that because they're down so much they're just going to be reckless.
Yeah, and they were, and they did a bunch of dumb stuff. And I remember texting you just basically being like, oh, here's another interception, another fumble. Like, isn't it?
That's when I started getting stressed and was like, oh God.
Because it was that swing, that specific thing that put it really close. And so, yeah, we were going into, I was really hoping to not have to have like a massive amount of anxiety past Sunday night because I would have the Lions kicker on Monday is like a saving grace. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I mean, I go from projected to win by 35 points or something to basically projected to win by, I don't know, 6. Like it really narrowed. And I'm like, this is how it happens. This is how it's ripped from me. Like I'm being punished in the worst way possible. And then, but yeah, but like I
remember telling you that like Zaccheaus, like you're gonna have to sweat it out. And then in the first drive that Washington had the ball, Zaccheaus touchdown, it's over. Like
well, that was what was crazy about it is that like I've gotten so stressed looking at the thing and being like, this isn't my style. This isn't who I am as a player, as a fantasy player. I'm not an app stressor. I don't watch this game. I watch the results. So I'm like, after I think I'd watched, well, this is again, Noose is texting me like his kicker missed and he's mad. And then he texts me when the kicker gets his other shot. He's like, oh, good thing I got another shot. And I was like, don't text me anymore. I'm going through some stuff. And then and he just was like, LOL, okay, or something like that. And so then I delete the app and I'm like, I'm just going to coast. It's in Zaccheaus' hands now or whatever, and we'll see how it goes. And so I'm like helping clean the house or something. I'm checked out. Teresa's like, I literally hate when you play this game because you're just like, it's like watching you're just pacing. And yeah, and then I'm like, you know what? I think the game's about a quarter in. Like, let's just see if he's even got a reception. Like what? Is this going to be just it's not going to happen at all. And then I look and I'm like, and I come into here. I walk into here and I log in, I get on it, and then I just look at it, and I just like, I think it's beautiful. I think I just looked at it and I was like, he did it, he did it, like, and that's all that Teresa's hearing me going, and I was like, he did it, and then she's like, what? And I'm like, he did it. Like,
you don't understand. He did it.
And then she's like, and then she's like, well, is it over? And I'm like, well, no. I mean, like, I think I was up a few points at that point. I was like, well, I mean, something terrible could always happen. Like,
yeah, you texted me like, what's the lowest the kicker has ever scored?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
How many misses could Jake Bates have?
Theoretically have. And yeah, so but then I mean he just kept like feeding the guy, and you look at that guy's stats. He had a 21-point game the week before, and somebody else was out, and that was why this guy kind of popped up. You put him in there, and he did it again, and I'm like, well, that's an amazing, good for you, man. Like between Sam Darnold and Zacchaeus, it was just an incredible amount of luck. But then, and that's here, and now I'm second only to Mark Sullivan in amount of medals won. Of course, my medal score is not that great because I'm like a bronze boy. Got a lot of bronze in my cabinet, not a lot of gold. Well, 1 gold, I think 1 silver. Yeah. So, but it was great.
Your Zacchaeus move remind me of like, so with my squad, I ended up getting third, but I had basically 6 startable wide receivers. And if I had ever gone off of start rate, like percentage of people that had put him in his lineup, Brian Thomas, the number 5 wide receiver in the year, would have literally never been in my lineup. So I don't think I'm ever going to go off of that ever again.
No, that was, I mean, you got to think the majority of people they're not even paying attention. But there was, I mean, should I talk about Jeff's post now, or should we keep because I guess it doesn't count as best Discord post of the year, which is something that you'd mentioned. So maybe I'll just throw this because it was a sleeper post. So I forgot to mention this before in the timeline, but I put in Zacchaeus, and Edwards had noticed, and he did later admit that this was like mocking. He was just like,
oh, for sure.
And he didn't I was like, does he also know this guy, about this guy? But so I put Zacchaeus in, and like our Noose and I's lineups both look like shot full of holes. And so Edwards posts, Zacchaeus is a league winner, like just, dripping with sarcasm. And then Noose replies like, LOL, hope not. But he was the league. He sealed it. I could go to bed, like just soundly, like I just could go to sleep and roll into Monday relatively well rested because of
the only guy that, so Knuth was missing Kamara, and then Etienne. He has both Etienne and Bigsby, which is kind of a fucking nightmare, honestly, because they both could be. I mean, Etienne, what a horrible season he had, and then he had Godwin, but Godwin's been on IR for like 3 months now or 2 months now, which sucks, obviously, because Godwin was having a career year, but he wasn't quite dealing with what you were, where it was like Chase Brown goes down in the game, CD is just ruled out fucking 2 minutes beforehand. Tua is just randomly not playing, even though we didn't even know he was injured until like the day of. -3 from the defense.
Oh man, I was so mad. I was like the worst team in football. Like I was like, they need to rip this team from you guys and send it somewhere else in the middle of the game. They need to send it back.
I do feel like week 17 is when the most like fucking insane weird shit happens.
It was freak games. At least it's not like people aren't playing, but it was a mess. He got like 6 points out of Stafford. Stafford had like almost one of the maybe the worst game he's played all season. It was just actually what I noticed from Knuth before Sunday is that none of his players had a touchdown, and that included a quarterback. I'm pretty sure like there was no touchdowns, and so Jamar Chase's like bumble like in the end zone, like that kind of stuff. But in the end,
he's been rolling. Like Russell Wilson, Lawrence went on IR, so that sucks. Stafford, I was looking like, why did you start fucking Stafford? He's terrible, but there's like nobody out there for him to have started. So
I tried to
the best with a bad situation.
There was a moment there where I was just trying to like play all the angles I could think of when Kamara was out, and so I think there was a chance before before the Walker thing happened and things kind of got a little more obvious that I thought he was going to play Guerrero on Monday, even though there was like a tag on that guy. And I was like, well, I don't know. CeeDee's not playing, so I'll just pick up Patrick Taylor on like the 1% chance that he starts Guerrero and Guerrero can't play, and then there'd be nobody. But yeah, that wasn't. I mean, it didn't end up. That wasn't that big brain thing didn't matter. So, but yeah,
Josh says ETN was one I will never forget. Was debating between ETN and Josh Jacobs in the second round. Ouch! Jacobs was amazing.
That's rough. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm putting it as my commissioner role. I guess I'm doing all the postseason stuff. We've got 3 people that are doing franchises. I think that have put people in contact. Prier, I guess, is redoing his. And then I want to say we're getting at least a hand. We'll at least probably have like 4 or 5 jerseys. Me, Tishan, and I are getting ours. And then I want to say there's at least 2 new people that are getting theirs too. So
did Tanner talk to you?
Yeah. I think he's talking to the designer guy too now. Okay. So
he and I was trying to do a Canoest on him, and I was like, hey, not this weekend, but the weekend before, I was like, yo, you got your jersey ready? Like, you have your franchise? I was trying to, like, put that out there. And then I scored 140, and I still lost by 30. So Tanner did great. Yeah, we were bouncing a lot of ideas around. He wanted to do something with, like, AI or robots. So it should be sick, whatever
that sounds great. He actually, I think, went through, I mean, he didn't go through the same program I'm doing, but similar one. Also, someone's doing crop dusters, which is inspired with like a John Deere theme. I thought that was a really good one. I haven't seen any work on it yet.
That might be Mark Vormazil.
Yeah, I think it is actually. Yep. And then Shemek.
Look at me getting down in the weeds in the other leagues, man. I know people's shit going on.
Well, I mean, you'll talk about this later, but Shemek is I apologize if I mess your name up. This is a tradition on the pod, but he gets in on draft day in the league on draft day. He is literally picked up basically in Kansas City and thrown into the draft, and we get him sorted out. He doesn't know he doesn't know anything about the structure or how this works, and then he wins. He wins Peter's Cuervo. Like, you want the easiest path to the championship, go through the old guys, I guess. But
wasn't Tracy a new guy this year too, or did Tracy join last year?
I think he was too. Yeah, I think he's new too.
Yeah, they're top 2.
Yeah, so those 2 guys. Michael Bradley just so mad, and I don't even think he made the playoffs. But so he's in it, and he had an interesting question because we were sorting. I was like, this is how the jerseys work. That like, do you want me to, keep your winnings so you can do that? And he was like, can I get one for my kid too? And I was like, that's pretty cool.
Yes.
But his child is like 2, and the sizes don't go down that far. So it's like you have to be at least like a relatively football able to play sized being before.
You need to be like 5 and above, probably.
Probably, like, yeah, something like that. So, but I was like, that's inspiring. That's pretty neat. But
get your 2-year-old a big hat with your team logo on it that basically envelops the entire child.
Perfect. Yeah, and then. Yeah, so that's all in progress. So yeah, anyway, I won the league. It's mine. I told Teresa, she's like, so what happens? I was like, I get a jersey, and I won. My name goes on the gavel, which I will see again for the first time in a long time. The last time I had it in my possession, we lived in a different house. So, and I don't actually think I had any of my children. So it's been a minute. But I have a mantle. And it's going to replace. There's a Cogsworth on the mantle that has been put up there as decoration by my wife. I'm going to take him down. I'm going to put up the gavel, and it's going to sit there all year. But it looks like I have some work to do on it because as it floats around Des Moines, they've been messing it up more and more. Apparently, like Noose is like, oh, Jalon, sorry, said. Yeah, I'd be in support of like redoing the plates on. I was like, what's the problem? Like, they were all on there. There's no big deal. And he's like, he sent me back a picture of it, and like they're like printed crooked. Like, it's like they put them through the machine all cockeyed. And I'm like, what did you do? Like, it doesn't even make sense what you guys did here. So on the off season, since I might not see it again for another 15 years, I'm gonna try to it has space for 18, and we're at 15. So it's
The
only 3 more
entire
years.
gavel only has space for 18.
Well, it only has 18 plates on it, but I think you could at least put one more in between each. So it'd be 1, 2, 3. So that would get you 12 more years on it. But I think I think I could double it and just be like, we're never gonna have to worry about this again. But we'll figure it out. But
yeah. Now you can. Like Teresa asking, what do you get? You get $800. You get your jersey. Now there's no longer the running joke of Jameis's never won the league, and he put himself in precedence.
Now the longest streak is Dan Renner.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's not me.
He would have joined what 2013.
He's a year after. Yeah.
Year after me, thank God, loser. And you get to look your kids and Teresa in the eye every day now when you wake up. Finally, it's been a long time.
Yeah, I know.
I'm him. That's me. I'm built different.
Yeah, it was a lot of winning. It was a lot of good wins. I didn't watch the Iowa State game, unfortunately. I was pretty indisposed, but I did my usual. I checked the stats occasionally, so I was excited to see that we got to consume the human Pop-Tart or whatever, the soul infused Pop-Tart, whatever it is.
Yeah, that was an incredible
I heard it was
display.
amazing. I love the Pop-Tart Bowl more than any other of the postseason or whatever you want to call it. College football bowls. The Duke's Mayo Bowl is good too because dumping mayo on a coach is fun.
Yeah, that one's pretty solid. So yeah, Iowa State won that.
Call was BS.
What?
Did you watch the game? I watched a player form himself into a torpedo and run directly into a kid. His head rocks back, and he lays on the turf. And I go in to get in the car because we're gonna go get cheese fries. And I put it on the radio. And by the time the radio's on, Texas has possession again. And I'm like, yeah, that's incredibly stupid. Like, horns down indeed.
Yeah. That was horseshit. Yeah. They almost did it. The 4th and 13 was tragic.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, Iowa State they won at Colorado in basketball, and they just won today. Beat Baylor at home, ranked Baylor. They're fucking legit. Like, the number 3 ranking scares me. Then you watch them play and you're like, holy shit, this team is actually phenomenal.
I can't figure out when they don't play on Saturdays only.
So right. Yeah, it has been on Sundays until basically today.
Right. So I never know when it's playing. I have no way of understanding that.
It used to be the Big Ten always played on Sundays, but now there's a lot of, with like the conferences being all insane, like KU plays tomorrow on Sunday. I don't think they ever used to do that. Mm-hmm. They've actually lost 2 in a row, I think, including one at home, so they suck.
Shame, real shame.
Yeah, and then Iowa State obviously won their 11th game, first time ever. The Pop-Tart Bowl was great. Thank you, Cam Ward, for quitting on the team halfway. That was amazing. Good work, dude.
That's really cool. It makes me makes me like the new state of college football, where if you're just a team morally better than other teams, you can win games because the other people are like, I'm quitting. Let me post my NFL draft eligibility on my Instagram at halftime and call it a day.
Yeah. One of the rare cases where the most together team actually paid off.
Yeah.
League-wise, I did win. My curse is over as well as Jameson's. I won my first playoff game to get 3rd place, my first medal since 2012. Basically all thanks to Raheem Morris not knowing how timeouts work and forcing overtime for the Washington and Falcons game, where the Commanders immediately got the ball, and then Daniel Jones scored like 8 points in a row to score a touchdown and end it before Lions could come back and beat me.
I was trying, so I get up at like 4:30, and so when I realized that I was done, I was like, I can go to bed. But then I was invested in what was going on with you.
Oh yeah.
So I was following it, I think, until overtime, and then I was like, I'm gonna lose it. And then one of the dogs or somebody like woke up, and I had to be like, okay, well, let's go out, dog. And then I got to check again and be like, oh, you did it, yes.
Yeah, I actually thought that I had already lost and you text me like thinking that the game was over and there was still an entire half left that I had already won. I was like, okay, I'm gonna check this out. And Drake London basically, as I was watching, scored 8 points
That
in
was
fucking one drive.
yeah.
So then I was losing, and then thankfully overtime was forced, and I mean Jaden Daniels is probably the best draft pick I've ever made. The dude's amazing. Got me third. We did it. Unbeknownst to me, apparently in 2016-ish, I won a game to get fifth.
Yeah, you did win technically a playoff game.
Yeah, I don't know if we. I don't know if we count that because it's not in the money or anything. Like,
I was counting it because you're in the playoffs. It is a game won in the playoffs.
Okay. Then the curse was not as long as I thought. It was only.
But if you want to say a curse to the medal.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Then it had been 13 years since my last medal.
Yeah.
And just one side note, fuck Jerry Jeudy forever. This fucking idiot had 26 catches, 402 yards versus just me. So he had 35% of his entire yards this year in the 3 games that Langton played against me. The dude, he's got it out for me for some reason. I don't know. I make his blood run hot, and he just went off only versus the Mirthmobile.
You want to know something? I just looked at. So I had been offered some trades in the past, and I kind of forgot about them. So Bogey had offered me Jaden Daniels for David Montgomery, which I rejected. Jeff offered me Calvin Ridley, Josh Jacobs, and Jerry Jeudy for CeeDee Lamb and Chase Brown, which I rejected. And then there was a couple other ones, but yeah, it looks like in that probably wouldn't have made it to week 17, but I guess would have been nice to have in that last one.
How'd you end up getting Chase Brown? Did you drop him?
I don't know. I had him at some point. Did I draft him? Let's see.
I thought you just said Jeff was going to offer him to you.
No, it's the opposite. He was trying to get my Chase Brown and CeeDee Lamb for like 3 people, including Jerry Jeudy.
Gotcha.
I drafted him, picked round 9.
What a call.
Good for me.
League winner, Chase Brown.
It all worked out. No, Chase Brown sucked in the final, but yeah, he got like.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Anyway.
All right. Let's get on to other league stuff since you and I are the best.
Yep.
I'm the third best, but
we broke the.
We all know if I felt like it, I could have won.
We both will have jerseys.
Yeah.
I'd like to say a note though is that when we were in Minneapolis, there was the incident where like some random 20-year-old server apparently like was like, why are these dudes in these dumb costumes or whatever, like, dumb on us. But like just to think the very thought of caring what a 20-year-old server or whatever, like the thought that like this child can lay judgment upon me in a way that would affect me is clownish. I'll wear this,
Wear the jersey with pride.
Yeah, think about that. Like the last time when I started this league, that person probably wasn't even born. And here, look at me now.
Yeah, they're all Gen Z, internet brain rotted. We're internet brain rotted, but in a good way. They're internet brain rotted in like TikTok and Instagram filter way.
Mine's a way that like how many GeoCities pages did they make? Probably 0. How much HTML do you know, kid? Have you ever tried to reformat your hard drive using like a command prompt?
Probably not.
Because you downloaded too many random demo CDs on your computer.
I did see that our generation is like troubleshooting for our parents and then also troubleshooting for our kids because everybody around us is just like completely technically illiterate.
I do like that there was a window there where like everything was kind of hard and you had to like figure it out. Like, well, I want to play Battlezone, but it's a MS-DOS CD and I have to figure out how to run that. And then, like on the other hand, I want to run Battlefield 1942 and we have dial-up internet.
Yeah. We're the best.
Tribes is the best.
Anyway. Tribes is the best, actually. That reminds me, there's
Jazzbot
coming out with in the next year, basically like a spiritual successor to Tribes.
Good.
Right. NFL observations. The only thing I had was tomorrow night, Lions versus Vikings is the first time ever that two 14-2 teams are playing each other, and also the first time ever that a 14-win team could end up as a wild card because the winner goes to the 1 seed and the loser goes to the 5th seed. So
That's insane.
fucking insane.
I think that my NFL observation is that the Cowboys have done everything in their power to make me not like I try so hard to be like, well, I've been here almost longer than the rest of my life. Like, I got this is the most valuable franchise, but it is like so clownish. And then you just watch like Jerry Jones go on the like things. He goes off on like tirades about like the sports media is like asking him questions about why the team is bad and he's mad about it. And then just like personally screwing me like in the playoffs, like, just specifically trying to make sure that I didn't lose. And you know who didn't do that? Sam Darnold, the Vikings. The Vikings like carried me in a Viking longship to this championship.
4 weeks in a row, basically. Sam Darnold bailing you out.
It gives me a lot to think about, to be honest.
The geek bus. God Emperor quarterback of these United States.
Right.
Well, standings. Let's go over the final standings, shall we? Well, I'm just going to
go. These are in your emails. Check your emails, but we'll go over it again.
I just listed 1 through first through third. So if you're in the toilet bowl or got relegated, Jameson can either cover that or read your email. All right, Guggenheim. Number 1, Tanner gets his first ever jersey. Number 2, Tyler Cum. So both of them will be leaving Guggenheim. I did actually have a funny note that when I was, I had a fantastic like Christmas weekend because I saw Renner and his new kid, Devereaux, and his wife, Katie. And then we had like a big get together with the McHales and Christian and Ellen. So they were back from Luxembourg. So we saw their twins and their little girl. And big reunion with Zachar and all these other people. So that was a blast. But while I was there, Zachar pointed out that I can't leave Guggenheim without him. So the only way that either of us can leave Guggenheim is if we both make the championship. And then one of us obviously wins it. But either way, we both basically ascend to heaven. We cannot leave Purgatory and Guggenheim until both. Yeah, we have to be on the opposite sides of the bracket. And we both have to make the title game. So we'll be here for a while. Anyway, Tanner and Cum are gone, and then third place, me. I did it. I got my first medal in 13 years.
Yeah.
I win my buy-in back, and I won't have to pay for next year. Herman German, Mark Vormezeel is first, Logan Wood second, and then in third place, Benda. Ben and I both had something in common where we were both the highest points scored in our leagues, and then immediately got evaporated in the semifinals, but pulled it out for a third place. Medal. Blipto. T-Shan somehow wins first. We'll have to investigate that. His first title. Pat Conrad gets second, and then Crispin gets third. So far we have Vormezeel and Logan Wood moving up. T-Shan and Pat Conrad moving up. Peters Cuervo, we have Shimmick, first-time caller. Big fan. Basically shows up. Does the same thing that Alex Mallier did last year. Arrives at the league within hours and then wins it. Second place, TJ Schmidt, and then third place, John Tracy. So Shimmick and Schmidt are moving up. And then Newhall, first place all year, all the way through the playoffs, Juice. He's up to presidents. And then Skelt, following closely behind, got second place. And then third place, Tom McHale.
My fun note is Skelt having like 48 hours of panic. And so I'm like, don't you know both of you guys move up? He did not. So it's kind of my Christmas gift to him.
Yeah, everyone, the top 2 people move up now. It's the relegation is different. Old Hall, Josh Renner first. Second place, Logan. I think Logan was in first all year.
Yeah, and I can
kind of
and the people in Old Hall moving down is Alex Foster, Spencer Misick, Billy Edwards, and Alex Mallier. So you win some, you win 1 year, and then you get kicked back down in his case.
Yeah. Whiplash. Third place along with myself and Benda, Mark Sullivan. So a lot of the best of us settled for third this year. And then presidents, Jameson.
Oh, go back. Newhall. People going down: Dan Whitney, Brian Nelson, Zhao, and Dirks.
That sounds, yeah, that's correct. Wow. Zhao went that he had the fucking most incredible championship run ever last year, and then immediately
Yeah.
gets pushed back down.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Cruel.
Yeah. First place Jameson for presidents, then Canoe second, and then third Ta.
Yeah.
Who's moving down from Preds?
Presidents moving down is James Von Gillern, Sam Von Gillern, Justin Long, and Dave Taylor.
Oh, Jeff survives.
Jeff and Mike Stewart survived the gauntlet, and they stayed up. I would honestly be extremely surprised, like based on just I went back and looked at Davo's lineups. I don't know when the last time he logged in would be. So we'll see how that goes. Maybe more people will move up based on people quitting, or who knows? We'll see.
That'd be sad. He's been a long time member.
I know.
Was he there 2012?
Who?
Was Davo there from the original, or did he join 13 with the big expansion?
I wonder if this is something that can use. Let's see. Dave Taylor, 2014 to 2024, so 11 seasons. He's got some records too.
Yeah, he's a very good player.
3 championships.
Yeah, you can't quit you had one bad year. You can't just bail. Has he given you any indication that he's going to bail other than like not?
No, I'm just watching his activity on the thing, and there's 0. But yeah, anyway, we'll find out. We'll find out in the off season.
And
right now, like we're going through the process where, like, so the way this part works is that we, I'm
going to take a timeout on both hate and the podcast because I have to go to the bathroom. But whatever you're talking about, if it's rules or structure related, you can continue without me for.
Yeah, it's structure. It's boring stuff. You won't care.
Bye.
All right. So yeah, I guess to take over. So the way that we're going through right now is the way that if you're being promoted, that any particular layer like minor league, the people who got first, we go by tiebreakers. So you go by record, then you go by points, and you choose which you move up to fill the spots of the people that are relegating down. So we do that all the way up. All the people who are going to be promoting have been promoted. They've already selected their leagues. Like basically everyone in first place picked Old Hall, I think, and then so all the second place people in the minor leagues are going to New Hall, if I remember right, or it's vice versa, one of the two. And then everyone in the majors just goes up to presidents. But I have, I guess, unsurprisingly, not had a single person who's being relegated reply when I'm asking them where they want to go. So that does correlate pretty heavily with kind of what you would expect in general. I don't think everyone that is getting relegated are people that don't pay attention, but if someone wasn't paying attention, they would be more likely to be getting relegated. So if I'm pinging you, please respond. And also, we have some missing Piss Boy pictures out there. Also, not getting any responses out of those, but maybe we're all getting too old for the Piss Boy picture. I don't know. People are not as good at sports as they once were, it seems. Austin, are you still on mic somewhere? Can you talk to me? No, he wasn't.
I'm back.
Perfect timing.
What I miss?
I just
went over all of it again.
Basically just like how promotion relegation works, like what order we go in, and that all the people who've been promoted are already in their league. They've already selected. And what was weird about it is I told everyone else, but not you. Everyone who was in first in minors went to like Old Hall, and then all the second one then were defaulted to New Hall.
Everybody wanted to join Old?
Yeah, I guess so. I think that was it. It was one or the other. Yeah, I think Old Hall. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, all the first places went to Old Hall. All the second places went to New. Just a weird thing. And then I also said that not one person. So the first 2 people who relegate down, I was like, okay, you're going to be the first people to pick which you go into. Neither have responded. So
are you just going to default them to fucking Guggenheim?
Yeah, everyone goes to Guggenheim. But no, I don't know. Well, we got a long off season. So I'm not worried.
Yeah, true. We got time. Mm-hmm. Cool. So then we can do some league awards. I was just brainstorming a little bit Wednesday. Sorry, I worked out yesterday. Not a big deal, but I'm a little sore.
What a mistake.
Yeah.
So this is actually cool if you want to go into like not the ones that we're going to award or you would, but if you want to actually go into your League Legacy seasons, it'll give you some kind of stuff like that, which is interesting. But the stuff that's really kind of you can go into like the draft of your league or like and see like in your specific league who had like the best and worst round picks. It's pretty interesting. But then transactions is real interesting. This is where I learned that like everyone else's like waiver moves got them like positive value except for me. Yeah, like
Did you pick up Sam Darnold or did you draft him?
I did, but like I did something in there where like I can't remember. I'd have to find it. I think it was because worst waiver moves. I have the number 2, which was like adding Jason Myers and dropping Jason Sanders, but that's like the kicker stuff. Who cares? But my number 9 was Tucker Kraft being added and dropping Mark Andrews. So I was not as good on the waiver this year as maybe I had been historically. So I had like my actual value I got off the waivers total was negative. Yeah,
All right,
go up
pulled
to
it
the
up.
top.
Here we go.
Transactions at the top.
Points champ, me. All play champ, me. Not champ, me. Transactions,
Yeah.
okay. So what does this mean?
So trade, that's a positive trade value. And then waivers
I
is
was the only one who
green.
traded, so that made sense.
Yeah, so your total, like you were way ahead doing your transactions versus what you would have lost.
Okay.
It's like Denton, like looks like he crippled his team.
Well, this one's interesting because the only trade we made was I traded him Dobbins for Nico Collins, and then both of them ended up going on IR. So like it's only basically like 2 weeks worth of data, but yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, it's neat to be there.
Cool. Yeah, I mean I'm a beast. I did everything right. I'm awesome. I'm hot and cool. And whatever this means, it probably means like I'm
good wide receiver value.
Yeah, but then the problem is I never started the right ones. So
different question there.
Yeah, true. I was not lucky. Langton was because he got to play me 3 times. Nigro unlucky. That's the Christian McCaffrey effect. But yeah, this is cool. Let's look at yours.
There's so much stuff in here, even from last
this is
year.
a treasure trove.
And
I recently got my Kansas City friends to move over to Sleeper, and now I might introduce them to League Legacy and just have them because everybody that's been emailing me at the end of the season was like, Sleeper's the best shit I've ever seen. I can't believe I've been on Yahoo or whatever for so long.
Yeah, I mean, League Legacy is too nuts. Like this is everything I was trying to do over like, and so it was really great when I had the data sets to just massage and put in here. So it was just like I could generate all this stuff, and then yeah, I mean, I don't know, I love League Legacy, and then the guy like, hey, this is weird, and it's the best, but. The versus
you and News both were.
His net is positive though, I believe. Yeah, I think I'm the only one that's net negative.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which again, one of the worst teams I've like had in a while. I've had in the last few years a couple of like, if I went back, like crushing teams. And
yeah, here's you.
Yeah.
All the way at the bottom here, team manager rankings -14. That's funny.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, worst. Oh, that's a kicker.
Yeah, it's like.
Well, some of these are probably kicker stuff, right?
Yeah, well, it was like kickers, and then but that Tucker Kraft, Mark Andrews, I rode that dude just the worst things. Then as soon as he's gone, like 2 weeks later, he's back to his old self.
Doesn't have Olamide Zaccheaus in here.
Should.
Wait. The highest fab transactions in Presidents was $11.
Yeah. Oh, actually, now look at number 1 transaction value per fab bid.
Ooh, there we go. There he is.
Yeah, I think it's
himself.
It's a good value.
Damn. Keyshawn Boot, not bad. 0, perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Defense equal the running back.
Even Stevens.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right, league awards. So I basically nominated 2-ish trades. So I lumped one of Tishan's together, even though he technically traded with 2 different people, but it happened within like 24 hours of each other. And that trade resulted in him getting Mike Evans and Jonathan Taylor, both of who had probably the best 2 weeks you could want your wide receivers and running backs to have in week 16 and 17. Essentially winning him a title because they combined for about 50 to 60 points, just those 2 players. And then the other one was Zach Elliott, week 5, trading away some trash to get Chuba Hubbard and Brian Thomas Jr., who were both ended up being top 10 picks at their position. And he went from 0-4 to getting like a 4th seed in the playoffs. I think it has to go to Tishan, unfortunately. But there is the caveat that it is 2 trades. So what do you think?
I mean, I don't have a good, like, there was really not a ton of trading this year. Like, there was just not that
True.
much. So, I mean, yeah, like if you're gonna have a trade that ends up getting you a title, I think that's probably like that's what now that I've won, like that's what this is really all about. So now that I'm not only the winningest team in this league's history by like I don't know 4 wins, and just generally have like a culture of excellence, and now I have a title, I can say that it's pretty like what's the complaint there?
Fair enough.
I've got a couple of comments on my phone. It looks like Skelt is texting me, and Noose says that the Fab thing is off because Noose says he bought Brendo for 65. So
it definitely did not look right. So okay, let's go ruin that guy's life again by telling him his name is wrong.
Okay, our big stupid league is broken.
Hey, the waivers numbers are off. Can you change?
I think that's a pretty recent thing too. So I'll let him know.
What did Skelt say?
He said the same thing. He's like he thinks it's off.
Oh, okay. I can stop sharing my screen. Actually, there's nothing else over here. All right. So yeah, T-Shane wins best trade. The Mike Evans and Jonathan Taylor. I mean, week 16, 17.
Mike Evans had a game.
Amazing. Dude, Mike Evans. All he does is win fantasy titles. Like in the last 3 weeks of the season, if you look at Mike Evans's like history, he is a fucking monster in December. Yeah. It rules.
It was a great time.
Yeah, you had him too. I wonder how many people actually had Mike Evans. I'm going to look very quickly here at the title match, just to see who all had some Evans on their teams. Crop Dusters were fresh. Nope. Blipto, yes. Peters Cuervo. Yep. But he lost. Whatever. This is a stupid exercise. But Mike Evans basically shows up in every final round of every play.
Great.
All right. So the next thing I'm going to do, this one's hard.
Yeah.
In my opinion. Best draft pick. So my first nominee is Jaden Daniels. I got him in the 9th round, I believe. So obviously a rookie quarterback, you don't know what you're going to get. He ended up being the number 2 quarterback or 3 quarterback on the year.
Great value.
Fucking 31 and 36 points in week 16 and 17.
Right when you want it.
Yeah, he's been absolutely incredible all year. Brian Thomas, wide receiver. I got him in the 8th round, I believe, in Guggenheim. He was ended up being, I think, the number 5 or number 6 wide receiver on the year. Auto start every week. Brock Bowers, tight end 1 on the year. Could have got him in round 7.
I didn't even know that. I had no idea.
He really flew under the radar because the Raiders were fucking garbage. But he had he broke Mike Ditka's record for receptions, I think, or receiving yards for a tight end.
Wow.
And he had like 5 or 6 touchdowns, so he was incredible. Saquon Barkley. This is the only first rounder I could think of, but Saquon's year is like record setting. He was amazing. And then possibly the guy that I think should win it, Bucky Irving, So you and Tanner both had Bucky Irving, and you
Yep.
both got him in like round 14, 15. Or I saw him getting picked up in free agency. And
Yeah,
the
I got
dude
him
has been
15th round.
yeah, he's been nothing but excellent since like a month into the season. So what do you think?
I mean, I would say like I always think about
You just froze.
Jaden. I think it would be I'd either go with
Hello?
Jaden.
You went frozen mode. Say it again.
Are you good?
Yep, good now.
All right. Yeah, I would say Bucky or Jaden just on value.
I'm gonna look at the champs again. So you and Tanner both have Bucky. I'm the only one with Jaden, and obviously I didn't win. Skelt had Jaden in the finals, but did not win. Bucky, no Bucky. There's another Mike Evans in Peters Cuervo. Brian Thomas. No Bucky there. Blipto.
Surprising lack of Bucky.
Yeah. Another Mike Evans. All right, Mike Evans was the fucking MVP of the season. Jesus.
Yeah, must have been.
Huh. I thought there'd be more Bucky. There's really not. Or Shad White in somebody's lineup. In a champions lineup. And only one Jaden. So I guess just based on how many people had who in, it's got to go Bucky. So 15 round Bucky Irving, best draft pick. What did he end up points wise? He was the RB 16, but he is in a timeshare and missed most of 2 games, I believe.
Yeah, maybe go with Jaden then.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Jaden wins it.
Yeah.
I love that man. I'm probably gonna try and draft him every year now. Whoops. All right. Worst draft pick.
I don't even think you need to go past the first.
Yeah,
Like,
McCaffrey.
I don't think literally. I mean, he crippled every team that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like in any of my leagues, did anyone with McCaffrey do even okay? I don't know.
I don't. Not only in our leagues, but I don't know of anybody in. I'm in 4 other.
Yeah,
leagues,
that's what I was
dynasties and
meaning
2
too.
others. I don't know a single person that made playoffs that had McCaffrey 101.
Yeah, every single person that had McCaffrey got just like kicked in the nuts, like most of the season, and like was just lucky to not be last.
Yeah, and that might almost be the worst draft pick ever because maybe next to Le'Veon Bell, who just held out for an entire year, because the 49ers were basically just like, yeah, he's good, and then 30 minutes before kickoff was like, actually, he has an Achilles injury. Actually, it's 2.
Yeah.
Actually, it's both, and he's going to get a 4th opinion in Germany.
Yeah, that was not good.
Yeah. Some other notable bad ones were Tyreek in the first.
Mm-hmm.
He had a career bad year. CJ Stroud, I know a lot of people off his rookie year were thinking he was a Jaden Daniels type, but he was awful. And then Jaden Waddle. People were taking him in the 3rd round, and he's been pretty dog shit for the last like 2 years. But it's got to go McCaffrey. You don't take 101 and ruin your entire year.
No, right.
That fast.
You have to like not only do you have to wait like 24 picks, but like you usually then like crafted like, okay, I've got like the best running back, and I can go like get some wide receivers. So you're not taking the best wide receiver. So you got a couple of wide receiver 2s, maybe like a 1.5 and a 2, and then who else? Did you completely wait? That just messes everything up.
Yeah, there's a reason Nigro in our league got dead last. That McCaffrey pick brutalized him. All right, waiver wire hero, best waiver pickup. It's mostly quarterbacks. So Baker Mayfield.
I like this one because I have 2 of them.
Yeah, Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, Bo Nix, and I guess Jalen McMillan, or I guess Zacchaeus. I was thinking more like season-wise, but if you're just going get a title, then it's probably
literally my hero. But every time I see Bo Nix, I remember that like in 2011, somebody's team name was Bo Nurse. And so that's what I just replaced his name with in my head.
Bo Nurse.
Yeah.
What did Darnold end up as? Was he's like a top 5 QB, I believe.
He said
Number
QB
8.
8, which is it's lower than I would have thought. But I don't know. He did pretty.
Was Mayfield? I don't know of anybody that had Mayfield in the title game though.
I don't think I ever started Bo Nix.
One.
I just had him.
There's a Bo Nix in the title game. There's a Mayfield. There's a Mayfield. Who did we have? Burrow and Goff. I'm gonna go Darnold just because he's a Viking.
Yeah, let's do that. He saved me for sure.
Yeah, I mean it's the best real life year of Darnold's career. Why not give him the waiver wire hero? That's basically what he was for the Vikings.
Mm-hmm.
I only had one nominee for worst waiver wire pickup, and it was Isaiah Likely because a couple of teams in a couple of leagues dropped like $80 fucking.
Mm-hmm.
Most of their waiver wire budget on Isaiah Likely, who never again repeated.
He didn't do it again.
His week 1.
And then Mark Andrews, week 6, kind of got back into the game, and no one talked about Isaiah Likely ever again.
Yeah. I don't know of any other players, maybe Knust in the chat would know. I mean, Garendo, you got 1 week out of him before he was injured.
Well, that was the 49er running back injury carousel was stupid.
Yeah. So, yeah, Isaiah Likely tanked a lot of seasons.
Yeah.
Worst luck and luckiest team. I guess League Legacy would have this, but I don't know.
I don't know if it has it for all of us.
Yeah, and
maybe
it probably doesn't have it for everybody. And would it have multiple plus signs for luck, or is that over the course of a career?
I don't really know how that part works. Yeah, it doesn't have it as a superlative.
Because people have multiple plus signs as they're in their career, right?
I think it just means it's more lucky. You're kind of lucky, and then it's a scale of lucky.
Oh, okay. Well, then we don't have to do this because I don't know how to tell.
I mean, in general, I could say the luckiest, mine.
Yeah.
What is it? You basically, you work hard to get to the playoffs, and then it's just shake them dice and roll them. Because that's
exactly, yeah.
I just by the skin of my teeth.
Yeah, just going through your lineup, this is a team that should never win anything. It's Darnold, Chase Brown out, Bucky Irving, Mike Evans, Brandon Cooks, Zacchaeus, Chigakonkwo, Devon Achane with 5 points, and then a -3 defense. I mean, that's probably you still put up 130. That's so fucking insane.
Yeah, it really is. And it was, and 47 of them is just Tampa Bay.
Yeah, it's just the pure luck of having the Panthers.
Yeah.
For your 2 best players to go up against. That's just
just to go back to the Colts, for multiple weeks, people were like, the Colts in the last 2 weeks.
Stash them.
In the last 2 weeks. Stash them. And then they do, they don't even do that good in week 16. And in 17, it is you are going to have made the worst mistake at this position you could possibly make. It'll be the worst score. At one point,
they were the worst defense the entire weekend.
Well, and I think there was a time where they busted the bracket of points. So I'm hoping that the other team just keeps throwing because maybe we'll generate stats at some point. It doesn't even matter if they keep getting crushed. Maybe they'll get a turnover, but nope.
I had another buddy, Lucas, text me that he had also started them. And then he texted me after the games were over. There was a r/fantasy football Colts defense support group. And it was just 500 people in there just venting about all the titles that they lost based on that decision. All right, next one.
Imagine needing a defense to get positive points to win a championship.
Imagine needing defense to get 20 plus points.
Couldn't be me.
Yeah. having a 24-point lead in a defense category and not winning. The next one was Discord post of the year. I asked for help. Nobody helped me except for Benda, who was a month or 3 months too late. So I'm going to nominate myself for the Wall of Excellence post from when Iowa State won 10 games. Thank you, me. Actually, I'm going to add another one, podcast host of the year, me.
Yeah, I'd say so. You really did pick up the baton here and just go just pure excellence every week. I'm
I did miss a couple, but last week was a holiday. Like, there's nothing I can do about that. Sorry.
Yeah, you're not going to do it on New Year's.
No. Mailbag. So one thing I had was New Year's resolutions, both fantasy and real life. I actually didn't write this down. Sorry. You should have seen this coming though with New Year's.
Right.
I had a couple resolutions. Sure. So first, I'm going to drink a little less, meaning that I only am going to have cocktails if there's something actually going on. Because what I have been doing is like, I get home, or not get home, I work from home, but it's Rosemary goes to bed, and it's like, shit, you know what sounds good? A little bit of whiskey. I'm going to play a little Flesh and Blood on my computer, and then it's like, oh shit, I'm like pretty drunk now. And I'm in my basement, in my hole, doing a whole lot of nothing. So resolution is only now when things are like we're hosting or if I'm out. This is an exception because it's the last pod of the year. Well, Jameson just left, so I'm talking to myself. So that's good. And he's back, folks. Hello.
Yeah, I got like half of your resolution. And then I kicked me.
Oh, that's fine. Don't worry about it. So drink. Basically, I'm only going to be drinking if we're like hosting or we're out and about, with the exception of tonight because it's the last podcast of the year. For fantasy-wise, I'm only next year going to be drafting people that bring me joy. So Marie Kondo style.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
There are people that are fucking awesome at fantasy or real life, and I want to root for them. I don't ever want to hitch my wagon to the Jets ever again. So Garrett Wilson, if you're on the Jets, we're out, buddy. I don't want to watch like anybody on the Browns, even though there is like fantasy gold to be mined there. Just whenever Scott Hansen cuts to the Jets, and it's like, oh, Aaron Rodgers threw another pick. Aaron Rodgers 3 and out. Yeah, punt or whatever. It drives me fucking insane.
Mm-hmm.
So those are my two, fantasy and real life. Did you have any?
Let me think. I don't know. Fantasy-wise, I feel like I've got things in a pretty good place. So like it would be just continue to clean things up. Like I'm moving some stuff around to make commissioning like make more sense when we're reading the like master spreadsheet and stuff like that. So it'd probably just be like continuing to refine what we're doing here. Personally, try to like. Well, I think my boss said this. He said like try to just like be less hurried. And I was like, that's pretty good. Like just feel less rushed. Try not to be rushed. Like that's a good that says a lot of that like has a lot of stuff in it. So that's kind of
I'm trying to be a little less like counting the minutes towards Rosemary's bedtime, because it's finally you can let go. Like just tonight, I didn't know she could say this, but she said I did it when she climbed up on the slide by herself. And
that's
then she said,
cool.
"Thank you, Daddy," when I handed her something.
That's amazing.
Yeah, all these things, she learns these phrases, and then we only have her for a couple of hours in the afternoon, and before she goes to bed, and I'm like, I missed some of this shit. So
yeah, my middle one, I don't know if I told you this, said we're like, how'd you like Christmas Mass? And she's like, I'm glad that's behind me.
Oh yeah. Same, dude. Ours was fucking an hour and 40 minutes.
We got a lot to enjoy there.
Yeah, God.
Yeah, that's who's there.
Me too. Yeah. Rule changes and ideas. The first idea I had, and I mentioned this in the Discord, and I'm going to do this, so I'm going to need volunteers or whoever wants to join. I want a league. It's going to start out literally stock standard. I'm not going to change anything from Sleeper. And then every time somebody wins, you add a rule to it. And that rule is permanent, unless the rule does something to like override the previous rule. Like, for instance, no defenses. Then the next guy wins. It's like actually 5 defenses. Like, I want just an ongoing chaos league of 12 people only. I don't like 14 or 10-man leagues. They make me uncomfortable. So I'm going to do that. So if anybody wants to sign up, let me know.
Speaking of other leagues, is the D-League Cup, or when we play all the sports.
Oh, yeah.
We're in the home stretch after the end of basketball and hockey overlaps the beginning of baseball. So we'll start the next one, the next year's fairly soon. If more people want to join into that, it was pretty good actually. So
who's in first?
Good on there somewhere, I think.
How do you total that up?
So it's pretty easy. You get whatever your standings are, like 1 through 12. And then I sum up everyone's, like whatever you got, and then it's golf, so backwards. So lowest score is the best. Because like imagine I got first in everything. I'd have scored like
7. Gotcha. So it's pure record.
That's it. It's pretty straightforward. It's just record. And then in football, we don't have a separate league. I just go by whatever you get in the D League and then put it in there.
How many people?
Per quit, because that's his character. But we have Prayer. We have 9 right now.
All right, I'm in.
Right,
that's surprising about Prayer because he's always trying to recruit me into more of his dynasty leagues.
I don't know. He's always up to something.
It actually reminds me, Prayer. I kind of want to quit your dynasty league, but the championship for that dynasty league happened 2 weeks ago because it's only a 10-man league and the championship is 2 weeks long. Literally nobody said anything in the Discord or in the group me. It was just like 2 days ago. The champ was like, "Okay, well, great season, everyone." We're like, "Oh shit, I forgot about that." Yeah, congrats, I guess. I got 3rd. I didn't even know it.
Good job.
Thanks, man. I beat Prayer. Get fucked. And then rule changes or ideas for the actual league. Nothing really. I mean, it would be kind of nice to change the wide receiver or the tight end slot to a wide receiver tight end, but I don't really care. Cut kickers. Every year we should put up to a vote that kickers are no longer allowed. Maybe it'll pass, maybe it won't. But
well, I was actually overwhelmed with the amount of responses I got to my email that was like, "Hey, this is the month where we do rule changes and draft ideas." My
inbox was flooded.
I've got a total of 0. So
all right, well, I'm going to propose no kickers. Do
Yeah.
I need to email you, or can this count?
Yeah, just email me so I can put it in there. I'll forget. I'm like basically asleep right now as we're having this conversation. Okay. So
I'm going to schedule a meeting and we'll circle back on this.
Yeah, I won't retain any of this. Please put it on my calendar, and then 5 minutes before my calendar, let's just have a quick ping where we just go over it and then cancel it.
I want to talk to you about this on Microsoft Teams. Only.
I want to paste in code into my Microsoft Teams window and then get mad that it's formatted dumb and then have to use the Control-Shift-V to paste that same code in.
That'd be fair. Then the only other mailbag question I had was for myself was, has anyone played versus a D1 athlete in high school? So before they went D1. Obviously, neither of us have. But
I was trying to think of wrestlers.
Oh, no, yeah. We didn't.
I don't know.
No, because even Potabom didn't go D1. He was at Briarcliff.
I was trying, because who did I have to play? Some of those middleweight wrestlers were really good.
Yeah.
But, did they go D1? I don't think so. No.
Yeah, I mean, even the wrestlers we considered amazing we're still like 1A. So, we weren't going to be going up against the big guys. But I wanted to put that out there, put it in the Discord or whatever. I'm so curious about if you guys played football or whatever because everything I hear about D1 athletes, they basically just had 1 billion yards and touchdowns.
Yeah, this was because we think about kids sports a lot, at least I do, trying to think about it's a racket at this point. Everyone's trying to make think their kid's going to be pro, and you hear these things from coaches and they're like, you can look at a 12-year-old kid or whatever age, like they're in it, and they're just like in a different class. The people that are going to be these freaks, like they are the kids that are just dominating everyone else. Like sometimes it doesn't even matter what sport it is. Like I guess you can train an average person and put in a ton of hours and they can get pretty good. But these people that are going to make pros are just almost like genetically determined to do so. Like I was catching part of a Randy Moss documentary on TV when it was like, I think it was New Year's Eve, and the basic sum of it was like, yeah, he was actually the best, and he was basically the best at every sport in his town, like getting like 17 touchdowns, and he was awesome at basketball, and he could have played every sport professionally, and it's just like, yeah, I guess that's just kind of how it works.
Yeah, you have to be a genetic freak and a god at everything just to be heard. All right, this is my Flesh and Blood deck. You and I can talk about this offline, but I'm just struggling with a couple of the extra slots I still have in my 80. Yeah, I think that'll be it for the pod then, unless you have any other.
I guess I can. What else we got? Okay, since it's the end of the season, we probably aren't going to talk until maybe post vote. All right, so again, this is my pitch. Am I kicked again? Okay, we're back. Okay.
Oh, you're here. Yeah,
we're good. Okay, so this is my pitch to everyone. Seriously, just send me good draft plans, like, please. Also, I don't know if anyone noticed from last year, but if you send me a draft plan, you get an extra vote. It's like attending a draft as far as the vote counts go, because nobody knows. You get a vote for you basically, like, instead of, if you sum it up, basically, like, for every draft that you attended, you become another person that's voting for your choices for ranked choice voting. So, like, instead of having 84 people like entries in ranked choice voting, we in the end have like 400 because I've made it difficult on myself. But anyway, your vote will become more powerful if you send me a good draft idea. So send me those.
Wait, when did that change?
Last year.
So right now I have 0. I have 1 myself.
Did you send me one last year?
No.
Then no. You have a total. Your weighted vote right now is 8, because it's.
But that's because I've been to drafts.
Yeah, you've been to 7. But like the only myself and Jay Long and then Mason Renner have like now we have an extra one because we put in the work to like put together proposals.
Oh, so like, it's yourself, the drafts you've been to, and proposals.
Yes.
Okay, got it. Cool.
Yeah, and so exciting because we'll do that in the beginning of February, and like nobody's like emailed me and actually, but if you have anything like legitimate, like send it to me, send me your argument for why, and we'll compile it all into the thing and send it off. So that's my pitch for that. Join the Discord for the off season. It's in check your emails. If you're not already in League Legacy, I have bothered you at least twice with an invite and then another email telling you that you didn't actually join already if you thought you did, because that's going to be, I'm tracking, like you can track me resolving the payouts real time there. If it has all the rules, you can see an audit trail of me changing stuff. So if you want to yell at me with the audit trail, you can do that. It's got every stat under the sun. It's crazy. So, and I might be able to do more messaging stuff with it. Like there's newsletters and all that kind of thing. But it also is like a schedule of like when everything kind of happens in each season that'll get updated. But join that if you haven't already, because at the very least, like at least you can track finances on there. What else we got? We talked about promotion relegation. Yes, I'm missing people's Piss Boy pictures. I'm kind of giving up on if that's going to ever happen with some of these people, but I guess I can tell everyone my vision for Piss Boy in the future is that 2 things are wrong with Piss Boy right now. Is one, that crown has disappeared. I don't know who's got it at this point, but like relying on the worst person in the league to bring the thing to the draft and then take it from the draft and then bring, like send it to someone else is like a fool's errand. It's almost inevitable that the Piss Boy will inevitably just leave the league, and it's probably going to happen at some point. So my vision for the Piss Boy is the Gene Chizik coin replicated. The Gene Chizik coin is a commemorative 2007 inaugural season Gene Chizik coin that was by like United Citizens Bank in Ames, who I called to see if I could get a lead on these, and they were like, "What are you talking? I have no idea what you're saying." And I tried to get one, get them, but I'm going to either cast. I want to get one or print, so I can make them. Every piss boy will get their name on the back of the Gene Chizik coin. It'll have a year, and then I'm going to put it on a necklace, a big necklace that you have to wear, and I'll bring it to the draft, and you can, place it upon you, and you will wear the weight of.
Oh no, you're going robot mode again. Hello? I'm losing you.
Again? Oh no, you're there again.
Hello.
Now I'm back.
Hey.
Hey, did I get to the end of my necklace thing?
You basically said that the Gene Chizik coin would be like a running list of piss boys.
Yeah. So yeah, you get all these chains on a necklace, and then I bring the necklace to the draft, and I put it upon you, and you're weighed down with the failure of Gene Chizik for the draft. And then I take it back, and then I'll pass it along. You can wear it, and then the next piss boy will wear it at the next one, because I don't think the picture thing is going to work long term. It's already breaking down. Okay, so that's my idea. There's actually a Gene Chizik coin for sale on eBay right this second, but I'm not in a position to be buying a Gene Chizik coin at this moment. So, anyway,
well, I might buy it for you as a
we'll
Christmas
see.
for your birthday.
Check with others. I don't know. Maybe this will start like a bidding war on the Gene Chizik coin. So
yeah, we're all like bidding against each other without even knowing it.
Yeah. It's actually a very popular item, weirdly enough. I don't know, but it turns out you could have invested in Gene Chizik coins. Anyway, all right. So I think there's a couple of President's Champions that need to send me their champions picture. That seems like something you should be able to do. We talked about draft plans, jersey orders. Again, if you have a jersey that maybe you think's too old or too small and you want to get another one, let me know now. We'll be putting that together probably around the beginning of February. We've got, once those franchises are designed that we were talking about earlier. Again, like all the awards are being slowly filtered out. It takes a little bit, so just hold tight before yelling at me. But a lot of people are actually taken care of. We talked about Lake Legacy, and then yes, here's my call for again, if you have any delts that are interested in the league or that are whatever, just give me their information, because there always seems to be one or two that we have to fill up. But I'm not going to be scrubbing this directory anymore. This will be like a referral only operation. And I think we talked about D-League Cup, yeah, and then that's it. So after this, we're going to do the vote in the beginning of February, and then the next thing is give me the draft plan and league suggestions by the end of the month so we can vote in the first week of February. And then, draft dues dates July 16th. Oh, I did notice in the email, but before this season, James Von Gillern and myself were the only people with 100 wins. And now we've got Mike Stewart, Mark Sullivan, Dave Hanks, and Jeff Edwards also at 100 wins. So there's more of us. Brian Nelson has the most losses.
Poor guy.
Yeah, poor guy. Well, he's a good sport, so he's fine.
Well, another successful year.
Yeah, good one. It was a good year.
One of the best of all time, I would say.
Probably for me, absolutely.
Yeah, for me too, really.
Yeah, it's good.
It's been a million years. Well, thank you very much for joining on your beautiful Saturday night. I know you probably got to go out of the club or bed, I guess.
Me? Yeah, I basically went to sleep an hour ago.
Sweet.
Yeah.
All right, man.
All right, everybody. Well, It's a great season. It's a good sport. Thanks everyone for joining the stupid league and paying attention to my emails and joining and clicking links when I ask. And yeah, well, I guess we'll see you next time.
We'll see you in August. Bye.
Bye.